Oke guys, kembali lagi di channel Rai Konstantin. Selamat datang di Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 ya. Kita sekarang akan bertemu dengan Master Bapak, tapi yang jadi masalah itu pas gue lagi jalan ke sini tuh tempatnya kayak tempatnya kayak nggak publik lah intinya. Ada penjaganya. Jadi gue harus ngalihin penjaga di bawah pakai batu baru bisa masuk lewat pintu belakang. Ini dia si Master Bapak.
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly, and I reckon you can help me.
The assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
Sigismund's just a usurper. Wenceslas is the only true Bohemian king.
Singing Ruthard's song, eh? I might have known. Speak then. What do you want? And tell the truth.
That's none of your concern.
Oh, really? Then about face and go back where you came from.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
I must have misheard you. Our business will be over when I say it is, not before. So pull your head out your ass and see to getting me into that assembly.
All right, Jesus. No need to lose your temper. You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's proved his worth as a waiter. Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need to work as a waiter there?
Fast feet and good manners. And the livery of a royal waiter.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and muddy hose?
Well, no. But I never heard about any livery before.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king. Don't even show up there without it.
Where can I find this boy?
Where can I find the cook's boy?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly run into him there. That is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout. I swear that fellow practically lives at that Tin Hen.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That is Zum Eisernen Adler.
What would work on him? How can I persuade him to give me his job?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the assembly. Now do your part.
I'll be going then. See you at the council.
Just make sure we both come out of it alive.
Yaudah.
Jesus Christ be praised.
You think you could manage some kind of ornament?
Oke, sekarang kita ke mana? Kita lihat dulu. Tujuan kita ada dua. King Waiter Certificate sama King Waiter's Clothes. I see.
Chairs with hearts carved out of them.
It's going to be
So,
hard.
I went to see my brother. And?
To talk about the inheritance.
But your father's still alive, isn't he?
Aye, but he drools all over himself. And he gets this feeling that the time's nearly up.
Easy, easy. Nice and slow.
We've got enough for everyone!
Whoa, whoa.
This has been going on too long!
Kita nggak berhentiin berantem
He
mereka.
doesn't hurt anyone else.
Ya.
Slowly. Nice and slow. Whoa.
Kita bener nggak ya? Kayak belak.
Whoa.
Kayak salah deh. Dari bawah sini. Nggak bisa kan?
Whoa.
Kita ada di pasar ya. Yang gue bingung itu adalah gimana caranya kita dapat ini kayaknya Taylor.
Thread,
Wrong onions.
pins, silk
White,
thread.
yellow, and red. The best on the market.
Iya, Mr. Snyder.
Hail Mary.
Dyed broadcloth. Beautiful. Oh, it's you. Back already?
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It sure does. Go on then. How was it?
I nearly left my fingers on them for
Oh, ini dia.
Come and take a
You won't get
look.
work like that just anywhere.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost, but they're first class, I have to admit. Thanks, Schneider. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks.
Buy 2 pots.
Come and take a
I've
gander.
got
We've got it
lots.
all.
Have a ball as well. Sound as a bell.
Jesus Christ.
We've got enough to go around. Anything.
God be with you. What would you like?
I hear one Franta cooldown is supposed to come and pick up new clothes from you.
You're too late. Franta already came and picked up the goods. You just missed him.
Ribbons of all colors.
Ini
Pots for
Franta
sale.
cooldown.
Big strong pods. Pots here.
Fine wares here. Quality merchandise. Have a bowl as well. Sound as a bell.
The finest wares. Quality goods.
Come and take your pick. You wear.
Mending gua steal atau gimana ya?
Good day to you. The best wares on the market. Come and take a look.
You must be Franta cooldown.
I am.
I'm Henry.
I am. What's it to you?
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up,
We've got
fill your
enough to
belly,
go round.
and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine while I run around like a bugger with pitchers so they don't run dry. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
See the king with my own eye.
I want to see the king in the flesh.
Why's that?
I heard a lot about him. How he won lots of battles, how he's courageous, just...
And as bad-tempered as the devil. He's got the councillors shitting themselves, fearing what's coming at this assembly. The more I think about it, the happier I am about not having to be there. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need to get upset. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good excuse. Clear?
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I had a brand new one made. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit better on you. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you. I promise.
You better not. Take care for now.
Oke. Tempatnya di mana ya? Buat jumpa itu. Pas pancong anjir. Gigi. Oke. Cuci dulu ini. Ya. Kita harus pakai dulu. Sama Royal House. Tapi kita nggak pakai senjata, sudah jelas itu. Sama sarung tangan kita nggak pakai juga nih. Mana sarung tangan? Ini dia. Kacamata masih boleh sih, tapi naik pouch ini nggak pakai dulu. Udah, ini aja. Majordomo.
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He's
He
drunk.
got as drunk as a lord. Totally pie-faced. Then he fell into a ditch, and now he's staggering around the streets, God knows where.
I might have expected. Once, he turned up with a hangover, and as soon as he smelt wine, he threw up all over the chapel door. I told him if that ever happened again, he was for the boot. Oh, well, you'll have to take his place for today. I've no time to find someone else. We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Maksudnya? I'll be happy to
Well,
learn.
I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaib or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarzhit stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most important thing?
Remember who wants what?
That too, but more importantly, do not disturb the councillors at their work. They have a lot to discuss, and in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
What if I make a mess of something, though?
Then I'll see to it that you won't get a job even mopping the floor in the hole in the wall. But I'm sure that's not going to happen. So, are you prepared?
Can you tell me once more what I have to do?
Masih nggak paham
Are
gua.
you soft in the head? You stand in a corner, keep your mouth shut, and when someone orders wine, you go and serve them. Don't pour for Adam of Zarjit, because he can't hold his booze. Red monastery wine, white Tokai by the door to the chapel. Got it?
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
Our current Waffen arsenal is a joke, and on top
Boy,
of that,
I'd like
the
some
army
white.
was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil,
I apologize,
used
sir.
that thing.
Which wine?
That
Tokai.
Hackenbüchen.
That's the white.
Hand cannon. Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws
sir.
have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr
Thank you,
König
waiter.
surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to
Waiter,
defend
get
yourselves
me white.
with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful King
That's not a good idea, sir.
providing us
This
with
is
protection,
unbelievable.
Isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the
Hey,
king's
waiter,
enemies.
pour me some monastery
Nicht wahr?
wine.
We are more than familiar with the Yemenish state of our armory. And the king is surely
I
aware
apologize,
of it
sir.
as well. Maybe
Which wine?
if he
Red!
waived some of
Am
the
I
taxes...
speaking in Latin?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the
Oh, jadi
city's militia
Tokai.
as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter
sir.
to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask
Well,
the king to bring
thank the
order to the
Lord.
realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation.
Dia bakal
We
ada
shall
tim
wait
atau
and
gimana?
see what His
Oh,
Majesty
kursinya
thinks
itu.
about the matter.
Kayak
Maybe we
kursi
can change his
penting
mind.
gitu, Cok.
Vielleicht.
I'd like to report to the Honourable Council on the cleanliness of the city
I fancy
and the
some
state of the
Tokai.
public baths.
Refill, boy. Baths or brothels?
That's not a good idea, sir.
This is unbelievable.
I apologize.
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right. We do have the new baths in Hopbrink, and Adam's old ones,
But I hear the
everything all
hot
right?
baths
No.
are more of a pigsty.
But there's nothing you
They
can do
still are
about
a
it.
bit.
Come
But
closer.
the quality went downhill at Adams, too.
What?
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
With their taxes, too.
What? More baths? Surely not.
The need for cleanliness...
Where can I find this goblet?
Use your eyes and come right back with it, understood?
Wash, there's a river just a few steps from the city walls.
Certainly. And they can get leeches there for free as well. And while he's there, a man can shave and take a...
Kita barusan dapat misi apa
You
ini?
know what?
Bring the confiscated goblet. See.
So what? Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The
Nice.
Black Death had nothing to do
Whose
with the
silver
baths,
might this be?
unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and...
So, did you find it?
It's only a waste of time because we're always...
I did, Master Bailiff. Here it is.
Not so loud. Show it here. That's it. And now go back to your job.
It's here. Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nas's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his visit. And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants,
I
as long
fancy
as he
some
does no
Tokai.
damage.
Refill, boy.
Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh, that.
Hey, where's
Just
my
a
wife?
small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out
Sir?
and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me.
Well,
Are you
thank the
defending
Lord.
Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like
Haji
Rutard,
Putih.
true, but
I'd
in
like
this
some
case
white.
it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you?
Dr. Nicholas
That's grossly
Rondel.
exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble.
they only just
He is
pressing
sensible
the
enough
graves
not
for
to
the
draw
Tokai?
attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true.
Thank you,
Because if
waiter.
we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
I'm sorry, Andreas, but I wouldn't
I
brush it
fancy
off so
some Tokai.
quickly. Why do I have the
Refill, boy.
feeling you're not telling us the whole truth, Ulrich?
Are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said
apologise,
anything like that, did they?
Which wine?
Then why
Are
doesn't
you
he tell us what
colourblind?
really happened?
Why? I'm not keeping anything from you, but there's little truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Ruthard and
sir?
I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because
Well,
his
thank
daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Ruthard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts.
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right. If we really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not
Betul,
only
kita kemarin main
barbaric,
tuh.
but also illegal. I could understand it with mercenaries, students, and other scum of all kinds, but city councillors?
Be specific, Forsooker. Are you blaming one of us?
Ah,
Waiter,
and look
get
who
me
spoke
white.
first.
First of all, it wasn't a duel. It was supposed to be an honorable combat. And I didn't even take part in it.
And that's the only reason you're still here on the
Tokai,
council and
that's
not
the
in
white!
the pillory.
If you want to blame somebody,
sir.
you should point the finger at the youngster here who's...
Excuse
Don't hang
me.
around me. Vanish, you hear
Never
me?
mind.
I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword-fighting school brought this custom to us.
Boy,
It's now run
come
by
here
the
for a
German Menhard. Who knows who that fellow is?
Everything in order?
Not quite.
Ridiculous,
But I
Forsooker.
think you might be able
You
to
act
help
like
me.
you've never
Come
been
here!
in a fight yourself.
What can I help you with, sir?
I left
Makan
my
nggak kenal sama
gloves in
kita.
the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while,
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored, and because I told you. Get on with it.
All day long. So what if they have one more reason?
My words exactly. The town council is squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is left unscathed.
And you, a councillor, let people throw dirt on our work?
If
That
I
was
threw
easy
out
enough. And he
everyone
wanted
who
me
could
to
place
count the
over a
winged
beer,
figures.
I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why waste our time?
So, let's see what you've got for me.
I found your gloves, sir.
Really? Let's see them. And did you count those winged figures?
I counted 24, sir.
And you counted correct. Good. Here you are, so you can have a bit of fun in the evening too, eh?
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The
Terus
building of the
teman
church
bosen
is
satu
dragging on,
biji
and in
aja,
the
Cok.
meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make
I'll
a
have
oil
a cup
mining
of
city.
white.
Why can't we build
Nice
faster?
big one.
Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides,
Boy,
I get the feeling
where
there's
is
something
my
other than
white?
the welfare of the city behind your
Sir?
complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would
You,
that
lad.
Like,
You look
for
familiar
instance,
to me.
that you'd like to have,
Have we
your
met?
own altar there?
be? So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen.
I really couldn't say.
That space in the side nave is mine.
I
The
have a
hell freezes
feeling
over,
I've
my
spoken
friend.
with you
Your
before,
place
too.
is at least 2 steps
Or
behind
with
mine.
someone who
A
looks a hell of a
swordsmith
lot
dares
like
to
you.
insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse me? You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Mereka sebenarnya yang wine master itu kenal sama aku gara-gara habis misi wine itu.
They would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from Sir Alehouse on Hoppring.
Ini lagi, pasti dia kenal sama aku nih kalau dia tahu.
Wrestlers of theirs, of course.
Karena baru banget
People
ini.
from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh,
Sir?
this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out.
It's you?
Not long ago,
I see you've come
the
up in the
guards
world.
raided and threw
From
them
a
all
bathhouse
out.
boy to a waiter.
Yes, I had forgotten.
You'll go a long way.
What do we have to discuss next?
It was a lot more fun in the bathhouse.
You're a merry soul, lad. I like that.
Dan they don't suspect a thing. Oh, udah selesai. Henry nih.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Siapa nih? Orang penting nih pasti. Siapa ini? Smartphone. Mudah-mudahan nggak ada phone Burgo. Kalau phone Burgo kenal sama Erik.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this man of fights!
Barbarnya. Serem kali dia, Cok. Tuh, kenapa nih? Sir Godwin, gua hafal pakai. Skyphone, yang Siska. Kita pakai Godwin kah sekarang atau gimana ini?
Come now, Father.
Oh
Put a
iya.
little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue.
Ini kayak
But for
barbang
now,
deh.
they keep him mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French
Ini
fella you
kayaknya.
brought here from Malashov?
The
Ini
great
berbrabang.
Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long
Kita
as
lagi
I
di
can.
Rabos ya,
In
lupa.
that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Kenapa ya Sir Godwin ini playable ya? Gak ngerti gua. Jan Siska kita udah kenal, John of Liechtenstein juga udah, Hans Capon udah, oh ini belum. Well, kayak pernah lihat gua mukanya. Oh alah.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians
Tahu sih,
representatives of
gak
your
inget juga gua.
community.
Samuel.
I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Gutenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all? Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here than gaining a few groschen. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzig Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. We did not get off to a very good start.
Well, maybe you'll get to know each other better. He should be coming here later, by the way. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait. A blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of...
Oh, bapak kita, Cok.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why?
Anjir, jadi
He
jangan-jangan
should have taken care of me,
saudara.
but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobila, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more
Oh, jangan-jangan
suitable
yang ini
times.
anaknya Martin. I see. Samuel anaknya si Martin, terus kalau si Henry anaknya Sir Kobila.
Good health.
L'chaim.
Sir Godwin. Si.
Jobst is right. We must grit our
Siapa
teeth
ini?
and wait for Sigismund to run out of money.
That's how it'll end eventually. I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation. I almost lost all hope.
It's not that I didn't want to, but understand that my absence from the city council will have...
Si Brabant.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin. A friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
Enlighten me.
So, be so kind as to enlighten me.
When they broke through the defense, I ended up in captivity. It was only due to my acquaintances in a court that I escaped execution.
Oh. I thought it was Henry who saved your neck.
My neck was not at risk in Malashov. I may have still been a prisoner with my personal freedom restricted, but they never broke my spirit.
You say you're a poet? How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? Is a poet a gesture for amusement? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand me.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then That was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Chaos.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Ini kemana ini lagi? Ke Henry lagi kah kita? Atau gimana ini? Bom. Kali loadingnya.
Went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
As it happens, I've got nothing better to do anyway.
Excellent. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain... shortcomings?
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre.
Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Botchek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome, because it would mean slow but certain defeat for all of us.
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Botchek of Kunststadt. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwins, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek. And he's a great lord.
One beer? I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopry to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
You're exaggerating, like you've always done.
Me? Exaggerating? You're the one who turned my home into a house of ill repute. Your whores wandering around as if they owned the place.
Oh, actually, anything fun was strictly banned under your roof. But maybe you ought to try it yourself sometime. Then maybe you wouldn't be such a bitter old grouch.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
We've never met, and we have no cause to be enemies. Take back your challenge, and we'll sort things out peacefully.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Odorin, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson. And he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame. As always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly. We don't have to put on a show for the crowd.
After you.
Well, that's that. Now, where were we?
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher will sort it out, you'll see.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
Swing with your whole
taught you that?
arm, not just your wrist. Cover your right side. You've got a gap there I
What
can
the-
drive a cart through.
Sacre! You're fast.
Look in my eyes.
Who taught you that?
Not at my sword.
Did they teach you that in the seminary? You son of a bitch!
What's wrong with your legs? You don't know which end of that thing is up.
Hey, who taught you that?
Stand firm. Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your arse.
I'll fucking pay you back.
Left arm lower.
That will do. My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
Aye. The outcome of this war depends on it.
That sounds very important, considering you and Alder are both pretty small players. After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me. And tell me what it's all about.
Do I have any choice?
If it's really that important, you don't.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
God be with you, my friend.
God be with you.
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify that.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint steps towards the future. As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest. Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord!
Jesus Christ be praised.
Greetings to you, friend. To a good harvest.
How was your trip? The journey itself was
And
great.
that's exactly why we mustn't push too hard.
Sir Bochek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Yobst comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
My God, what's taking so long?
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
What's the hold up? Am I supposed to open my mouth and wait for it to rain?
Maybe you're right. I reckon he's not ready for marriage yet.
No man of any age ever is. But it's especially true for young rascals like that one. On the other hand, the Lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on, despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
So, will you support our plan?
You're selling the skin of a boar that's still grunting. First, I want a confirmation that the wedding will take place as soon as possible.
And what if Lord Capon refuses?
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
Take a look at that.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning. I was the one who arranged the betrothal. I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Bushek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yidka.
Bushek of Kunstadt? The Bushek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you, and to your parleying skills.
Sir Bushek, your niece Yidka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yidka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain. That's exactly why we mustn't push too hard. Burgers.